to do is just to draw from some of y'all's expertise today. And as I talk, I've got certain people in mind that I know you're good at certain things. So I may reach out to you. So if I reach out to you, show your face and tell us your expertise, because I know some of you got some good expertise in certain areas. But what we want to do is kind of really hone in on the tools that we have to help us be successful, help us to maximize our efforts. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is this brand new tool that we just have that's just been dropped in our laps called Project Broadcast. And we'll send it out, we'll share it with you guys. And some of you may be at a point that you're like, oh my goodness, I need this, I'm jumping on board. Some of you may just take what we're putting out, copy it and send it manually. However it works for you, we just want everyone to know that we have another tool that I think, for our tool belt, that I think is going to be powerful. And Brenda and I started using it this past weekend. So I think a lot of you probably got messages from us. And so just wanted you to get a little bit of a taste of what that is. So let's jump in with this list of tools. When it comes to text messages, that I think probably a lot of us use text messages to communicate with our customers. I know for me personally, I try to respond to my customers how they respond to me. So if they call me, I try to use the telephone. If they text me, I text them back. And so utilizing and kind of honing in on what your customers need and want, and also what you resonate toward, and utilize these tools. And so I just wanted to put them all up here. And if I've missed any, let me know. And I can only see Brenda, Karen, Yvette, and Miracle. So if someone's raising their hand or waving me down, you'll have to speak up because I can't see your face. So one of the things I think a couple of weeks ago when I was gone, Brenda talked about text replacement. How many of you guys use text replacement? All right, so I'm seeing a couple hands go up of the 4 I'm looking at. So Brenda did, I know, a phenomenal job. She uses Erin's must be giving me a thumbs up because her name popped up. But text replacement is having codes already programmed in your phone. Well, let me let Brenda share just briefly again what replacement does for us.
Right. Like for me to send someone a new customer bridging the gap, my code for bridging the gap is BTG. And so I can go into my text and just type BGT and immediately it will come up. Basically, I'm excited to share with you 8 doctors that are sharing why they take Juice Plus and why they recommend it. I know these are world-class doctors and I know you're going to enjoy it. And then there's a link right underneath it. So it's really quick and really fast. And I probably have 100 different text replacement messages that I use all the time. I mean, not that I use all the time, but that, I have access to. It's just easy and quick. And if you need help with it, if you have an iPhone, I'm your girl. Just please let me know. I'd love to help you.
So great tip that saves a lot of time. And that's what we want. We want to maximize our time. That second point under email and snail mail, I can't see, but I saw Allison on here. I have read many of Allison's email messages to her customers, and she does a phenomenal job with customer care. Allison, you want to share a little bit about any tips you have? I know you are great with the written word and sharing with your customers. Any tips you want to share with us?
I think the biggest tip would just be if you save the emails. I'm learning now to not keep recreating, but if I've sent an email about a particular topic, maybe it's even, whatever it may be, a new partner where you're getting them started, to just save that in a file so that I can reuse it.
So maybe what we do is take a collection from everyone. I think also Brenda was telling me, I think Tish is really good with that. Maybe what we can do is almost collect a few of your best emails. We all do that together and maybe house them on Team Extreme Facebook group so that we can pull from there, or the website, one of the two, Team Extreme website or the Facebook, so that we can pull from them and without having to recreate the wheel, as you're talking about, Allison. Because I do the same. I keep them in my email section and I go pull from there, but it'd be great to have a bunch of them already written. So kind of going back to varying how we connect with our customers and our partners, sometimes I think a little bit of variety is good as well, and just seeing who responds back to us. And I think that'll help give us a little indication about how to reach out to people.
And I think the important
yes.
thing too, Elaine, is always, whether you're texting or emailing, following up with a video or sending a video, that people will watch that. And it's just that third-party validation.
I agree. I mean, I think that is powerful. Don't miss an opportunity to re-educate them about Juice Plus. Also, telephone calls. One thing, when people hear your voice, I'm telling you, I've had people leaving me messages, and of course, text messengers are awesome, but there is something when you hear somebody's voice, it cannot be matched. And so, although we want to reach out to a lot of people, and texting is easier and sometimes quicker to connect with someone, don't ever underestimate those telephone calls. And Brenda, maybe you can see, because I can't see everyone, who feels like they get a lot of mileage out of telephone calls? Anybody?
I can go. I want to say that telephone calls this is Tish. Hi, everybody. So telephone calls for me are like my third step, because once I see or hear or read from a text message that they are interested and want to know more, then I just immediately set up a time to talk, because I think I do get a lot of miles on conversing with them. And obviously then they hear the passion in my voice about what it's done for me and why I'm doing this business. And that's what I do. The other thing I wanted to mention on what Brenda mentioned about the text messaging and the shortcuts. So I use the same thing, but I have, instead of trying to remember what acronym did I use, like BBB, I think is what she mentioned or something. I just use a word that says, like, for example, intro. Here's an intro. So I use that whole line. And then once I say, here's an intro, it just pops up, and then I paste it in. And I also use that for the 4-month supply that's shipping. So I put like a phrase, and then it'll pop up for this whole sentence to remind people that their next shipment is coming. But I use that, and recordings are fabulous. So when I identify what they're telling me, that they suffer from headaches, or someone's experiencing some eczema or something of that nature that they start to say, as I'm listening to them diligently, then I go to recordings and I'll pull up a video on recordings and send them that along with the intro text message. That's what I do. And that seems to work really well.
Love it. And you have tons of customers, so I love that. We're gonna follow your lead then, Tish. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, when I think of Facebook and Instagram, I don't know if Caitlin's on here today, but golly, Caitlin Cobb is a person who I think does an incredible job when it comes to showing up on social media. I can't see everybody. Brenda, is she on here? Not today. Okay. Well, if you want to see a great example, and many of you do, this is not my area of expertise. I want to get there, but I'm not there yet. So I'm going to defer to the people who are, and many of you guys are really good at that. And I think, if that's your area of comfort and your area that you gravitate toward, man, utilize that tool in a way that entices people to want to know more. And that's what I think that I love so much about Caitlin's text messages. She never gives it all out there. She just gives you a little nugget to make you want to ask a question. And whether we're using social media, telephone calls, emails, or whatever. You want people to be intrigued and want them to ask you questions. That's our goal. So that whole area of social media, a fabulous tool, but should not be our only tool. None of these should be our only tool. You know, as my husband always says, we don't want to be a one trick pony. We want to have more than one. That is for sure, to really round this out and utilize and maximize our efforts. Another thing I think about is Zoom meetings. And I see Miracle's lovely face. Whenever we have our team events, and I apologize, I've been out of pocket and haven't had one, but we will have one, I promise, in April. I can always bank on Miracle loading up that Zoom call with people she's invited to, as well as the in-home meetings that we do. Miracle and I do events at my house together. I don't know that I've ever had an event she didn't show up with somebody there. And so, Miracle, are you available to show your face and give us a few tips on how you get people to events, whether virtual or online or in person?
Yes, I'm currently in commute right now, but I can just speak about some of the tips that I use to be able to get, home meetings and people on the calls.
Love it. Share a few things with us.
Okay, so I do reach out to a lot of cold prospects, and I'm just really excited about when I connect with them, and I make the invitation feel very personable to them. I've talked with them a little bit about some of their needs and why Juice Plus would interest them. So initially, when I meet them, I'm already planting that seed to let them know there's an event that I want to invite them to. And I'm kind of just, communicating with them leading up to the event, so it doesn't just feel like a random invitation. And then also, one of the things that I love to do is, when I am inviting someone to either a Zoom event or a home party, I'm really boosting that event up. Like, it is the end all be all. You need to be there, and letting them know how exciting it is, how much fun we have. We're creating this community. We're in fellowship together. We're all on a health journey. So they don't feel the pressure of just attending just to buy something specifically. Ultimately, we do want them to get on Juice Plus. But I just let them know, it's a very relaxed environment, and it's very informational. And I want them to get the information so they can also share the good news with others. So that's been very, something that I've taken into consideration when I'm being invited to something. When I feel like it's pressure to be there to purchase, I'm probably not gonna, be as excited to be there. But if someone is addressing it or presenting it to me as, informative, very relaxed, and it's a community that I can be a part of, it seems more interesting to me.
So I heard the tips of being involved in a community, making it very personal to them, that she always has an event in mind when she's talking to someone. That was good. And then being excited about it. And I'm telling you, I know how well she does this. So thank you for sharing your tips, Miracle. I'm looking at that next one, events. You know who's coming to mind? I don't know if she's on the call, but I know Yvette's on. Yvette and Precious, you guys have been doing a bunch of events, haven't you? I've been seeing them posted.
Yes. We have been implementing my personal training along with the event. So once a month, I'm everyone's free personal trainer. So we educate with JP, and then we ended up with some movement.
Nice. I love that combo. Kind of back to, not only are you sharing Juice Plus, but you're also doing an event that will benefit them, and kind of back to what Miracle was saying, attract them. All right, I love it. I love it. I've seen some of the things you guys have posted, Precious have posted, which looks like a lot of fun too. Three-way calls. Anybody doing three-way calls, utilizing that?
Actually, Elaine, I did several three-way calls, one with Yvette and one of her potential customers as I was driving down to Florida. And I think it's just not anything that necessarily the third person is doing different than what you are, but it's just that a validation. And even though, I don't know any more than anybody else does, but just having just someone to come alongside. And I just think there's so much power in that. Mm-hmm. And I think too, it honors the person that you're talking to. If more than one person is involved in the call, that they care enough about you, and they're so, like with the Yvette, just to be able to get on there and just brag about her and just share, what an incredible asset she has been to, and a gift to our business, but also to share my story, which, I think everybody's story, no matter what, it's just powerful. And obviously what we've learned for years from corporate is three-way calls, at least up until, as far as I know, it was still probably the one most used and most successful connections.
Mm. All right. Yeah, we hear it every time from the stage at conference. All right. Next thing on there is medical professionals. Tomorrow night we've got Dr. Du Bois speaking. And you guys, we are so fortunate, one, to have him. It's a Q&A. I don't know if y'all saw that. And that'll be on the Omegas. And so back to kind of a point Miracle made, being excited about that we have Dr. Du Bois at our fingertips. He also, if you've got a medical person who's interested in Juice Plus, he will do a call with them personally. You guys, we have such an opportunity with him, and we need to take advantage of it. So if you know anybody you want to introduce Juice Plus to who's in the medical field, please reach out to us, and we will get you in contact with Dr. Du Bois to be able to do, so that he can do a one-on-one call with your medical professional. That is huge.
And he wants to do them. That's
he does. Yes, he does. So who do you know in the medical field? Take a minute and jot some names down that we can possibly get them in touch with Dr. Du Bois. So that is an incredible tool we have got to take advantage of. JPTV, you guys, those are so well done, so professional. It's on the website, so you know right where to pull from it. And we've got to make sure that we take advantage of that. We've got the Freedom Revolution. I know I go on there a lot. There's always new tools being put on there. The one thing that I pull from a lot is the health education series. And, look at, I forget who it was saying, I think it was Tish, saying that once she talked to someone, found out what their issues are, then she begins educating them on that. So great. That's a great tip right there from Tish. And I feel like that health education series, even if they don't, like we can say, oh my gosh, they're not going to listen to it. You guys, just letting them know we have that kind of access, we need to make sure that we're getting this stuff in front of our customers and prospect faces. Recordings. I know who is the queen of utilizing the recordings Facebook group is Karen. Every time I ever post any call, she has already heard it. Karen, you want to share a couple of tips on using the recordings Facebook group?
Absolutely. I think that probably is my favorite, because you know what? I don't have to be the expert. These things have taken the work out for me, and I just send them on to my prospects. Once I know what their issues are and what they're trying to handle, I'll say, would you be open to a recording on arthritis? And I'd be happy to share with you. And of course, yes, I get permission and I send it on to them, and they 9 times out of 10 become customers because I took the time to educate them. And then I'll ask what other information they need. Plus, I in tandem with those recordings, I'll send the Jumpstart to Better Health, the Bridging the Gap, and the Omegas and Shakes, just to give them information on all the products. But then to be more specific to their issue, I send the recording. And I love that site. I listened to one this morning.
Wow. I love it. I love it.
But didn't you also tell me, Karen, that you've listened to every one of them? Literally.
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
day after?
and when I listen to one, I immediately think of my team, because I don't know how often they're on the recordings page. I'll say, I listened to this one. This is a great one. Who do you know that has diabetes? Send this to them, and then they will, and then that'll help them. So yeah, I share with my team members every time I listen to them.
Thank you, Karen. And by the looks of your customer base, it's working for you.
Absolutely.
Let me ask something. And I want to see everybody's faces. Who utilizes the research videos? Anybody really focus on that? Aaron, you want to share a little bit?
Yeah, it's just been so fun to utilize those with the customers that with my customers that I have. And I'll just say, hey, I just wanted to give you, I just wanted to give a shout out to why we're taking Juice Plus or something like that. And here's some reasons why. This is what's going on in your body. Here's the research. And I sent, like, this last couple weeks, I've been sending the genes video about how it turns on 1,600 awesome genes in our body. So just to let them know, like, even if you're not feeling it, this is really what's happening in your body.
Could you do me a favor? Would you put on Team Extreme the verbiage?
Yeah.
And then also a link to the video so people can see how you're utilizing that. I love the videos. I'm going to point out Jelaine also. She just reminded me when I saw her name, does a great job posting on LinkedIn. And so I just wanted to do a shout out to you, Jelaine, because I see you on LinkedIn, and that's an area that I want to try to work on as well. Any tips you want to share when posting on LinkedIn, Jelaine? Oh, it looks like she froze there for a minute. We'll wait for her to get. Looks like she's coming back on now. Oh, there she is. Any tips you want to share in regard to LinkedIn? I forgot adding LinkedIn, and I know I see you on there.
Yeah, LinkedIn is good because you have a lot of people that you can reach out to that really need to be on the product, or even, in the business, because we reach out a lot to try to see if somebody wants to add a business, extra money that, added to their business, so we try to do that.
So sort of
I think I'm frozen again.
Okay. Well, let me jump into the call, what we kind of want to focus on today. Thank you, guys. Is there anybody else that says, hey, here's an area that I tap into that I feel like is an incredible tool and has been an incredible tool to help me build the business? Is there anyone that we haven't already mentioned? A new tool?
Karen's got her hand up.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Okay. It's not a new tool. It's just Insights. Often post new social media that I use on my my Facebook page, business page.
Okay, good. And you know what? I had someone asking me, and I referred Insights to him as well. So under that digital resources. All right, well, let's jump in now to.
I have another one, Elaine. There is one other one that everybody might want to check out, and it's called Nextdoor app.
Okay.
And basically, it's local people in your area. So if you get the app, everyone go look it up. It's amazing. Basically, it's local people in your area that are looking for things that are going on, looking for opportunities, looking for a lot of things.
Oh shoot, we lost her. That's good. I think I have heard. Is she coming back on?
I think she's on. Yeah.
Jelaine, are you back on?
Yes, I am, but I'm in an area where I keep losing signal. I'm sorry. We're up in Massachusetts, so anyway, so it's real quick. Just go in there and put your parameters in. They ask for your zip code. They ask how far you want to reach out to, and I will tell you when I am connected better a little more about it, because it's an amazing app.
Wow. And
I'm on Nextdoor. It is amazing. I never even thought about, like, extending myself out to talk about Juice Plus there, because it's usually about neighborhood stuff, like a dog's missing, or, you know, a cat, I just found a cat, or things of that sort. But that's a great idea.
Well, and you know where I'm seeing that would really play in is if you're doing an event. And I know, Jelaine, you guys do a lot of events.
Right. We sold the tower because what we did, we put out there that we were having an event. A person came to where we were just to see the towers, and they bought a tower. So
Wow.
we sold the tower because of the Nextdoor app. We also got a lead for another one of our friends, and we've gotten a lot of leads from Nextdoor app. So I put a lot of pictures out there of my tower gardens. I put a lot of pictures out there of things. So, you know, Nextdoor app, everybody check it out. It's amazing. You can, if you really spend some time with it, you can really work that to your benefit.
Love it. Thank you for that tip, Jelaine. Okay, guys, we're going to jump now. We're going to transition into project. I keep saying Project Runway. I'm sorry, you guys. Project Broadcast. And here's what I want, I think, say, not that I am at all any expert at all. This is all new to me. I know Brenda and I were on an NMD chat the other day, and so we are just dipping our toes in. And I know even sometimes new tools, we will kind of shy away from them and think, and I even thought about this Project Broadcast thinking, I don't know that that's going to be a benefit. But I reached out, and Brenda and I both did this weekend, reached out to all of our customers, and most of you probably, if you are direct to me, if I'm your upline NMD, some of you are on Linda's team. So I know Linda's jumped on it. She's using it. And Brenda. So what it is it's just an easy way to connect with everybody in one swoop. And so I first was kind of like, I like to have a really personal conversation with my customers and partners. But once those couple of messages went out, Brenda, didn't we? I think I had over 50 some people respond back to me.
I text you within when I got home and got my phone, and this was maybe an hour or so after the text went out, and I already had 32 messages in the first hour, and it's way up, way over 50. I mean, and most of it was like, wow, thanks. Thanks for connecting with me. Some people in my downline that I'd never met, customers that I've never met, that, you know, from people that have, you know, not longer doing the business. I mean, I think out of all of them, I didn't have one negative. So I guess if it's a negative, they're not going to respond. But there was one person that said, thanks for this, but I'm really not doing the business. And that, you know, I'm like, no problem. But she's like, but thank you so much for reaching out to me. So I mean, I was on fire. It was really cool.
So basically what it is it's text messaging that can go out in one. You create one, if you're not familiar with it, you would create. So how many people got a message from me or Brenda, or have gotten a message from Linda? Let me see. So I think everyone.
Everybody that I can see has their hand up.
Okay, good. And so I'm gonna share my screen with y'all, and you can kind of see what it looks like on the inside. It's $10 a month. And then there's certain national marketing directors or actually just partners who have created what they call campaigns to begin sending that out to your customers, your teammates, whatever you want. Like, so you guys.
I'm sorry, to welcome a new customer, welcome a new team member. It's amazing.
Anything you want it to be. So you guys all got an invitation. I would hope everyone on here got an invitation to this chat today. And so I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to take a look at, well, let me pull it up first. Let me pull that up. Okay. And we're just going to take a look at it so you guys can see what it looks like. So if you can see here, these are all the messages I was receiving from. I sent them out to my direct customers and to partners who were direct to me, or not direct to me, but if I'm the first national marketing director to them.
Mhm.
And so, like you can see, I got a lot of people I need to respond back to. And there's the text messages. It works just like your regular text message. You do have another phone number that it runs off of. You can come in here and schedule. I don't have anything scheduled right now, but I could schedule future messages to go out to whatever group of people. Here is what they call campaigns. So I have several campaigns that have been passed along to me that I can use. It's like within our Juice Plus community, people are sharing already things that are already made up. So here's one, 2 to 30 day new customers. And so these campaigns are already in place, and you can see that's ready to go. So when I get my first customer, that message is already set and ready to ship out to them or text to them. Let me get another one. So here at day 5, here's another message that will go out. It's got a cute little visual, and it just says a little tip: keep a daily journal of how you're feeling the first few weeks as you look back and see how you're progressing. So basically it is text replacement on steroids. So that for lack of a better way to communicate that. So we just have, as I said, here's day 5, day 7, day 10, day 16, 21, 30. So look at that beautiful picture. I haven't even seen that. Congratulations, you did it. It's Elaine, and I just have to say that we're so proud of you for sticking with your Juice Plus habit over the last 30 days. So these are already made up for you and ready to go. And so it's just an easy way to communicate with people. I still want to communicate with my customers and my partners, but to me, this is just a great way to come alongside what we're currently doing. Kind of like, go ahead, Brenda.
I'm sorry. And the cool part is when they respond, it comes back to us.
Mm.
Yeah. So I just think it's so powerful.
So here's let's just say you're working on tower gardens, and you've got, you'd create. So look at all these, welcome to Tower Garden. So I've got a second Tower Garden message. Shipment has arrived. How's it growing? How cute. Harvesting. So what you're doing is educating your customers in a quick manner that's already been done for you. So it just is going to help us on so many levels, whether it be on our partners, our current customers, or prospects. So that's what this one is. It's campaigns. We already have a whole bunch of them. People are continuing to create them, or you can create a brand new one yourself. Mm-hmm. So what's happened here is you can either go in and put your customers and your partners in personally, or Brenda and myself have paid somebody to do this. So they went in and put all of our customers in for us. And so that's kind of all my contacts. Everybody who I have in Project Broadcast is in there. Keywords are kind of like, haven't done this yet, but my understanding is if you, let's just say you want to send out a text message to your partners, and you're going to do a quick promotion, and anybody who gets a new partner that day, maybe you're going to give them a bonus. And so if they do it, all they'd have to do maybe text back, the keyword might be partner, and instantly you know it and you can celebrate them. So that would be an example of keywords. I probably don't even begin to know how that works, but that's a suggestion of how I believe it works. Mm-hmm. If you see here, this is a template that, everyone on here probably got this text message inviting them to the coaching chat. So we went in here and we created that. And then we have tag groups. So there's a coaching chat group right there. Mm-hmm. And I have 23 people, of my direct partners who I sent that to. Brenda had some. So anyway, so that's just, so you can see there's a leadership huddle one that's created. So these are my groups of people that I wanted to set up so that I may want to correspond with certain people. Here's one for customers, canceled customers. So I want to do a specific, there may be a campaign, I don't even know, they may already have a campaign for canceled customers, how to drip on them and pull them back in. And so that's kind of how it works in a nutshell. I'm not, I'd be the first to tell you that I am not an expert at it. Right now I'm trying to figure out how to get back to stop sharing. 1 second. Well, where's my stop share button? Huh. Well, let me just get out. Let
Can
me
you get out of project broadcast
Yeah.
for
There we go. Okay, so let me just, our time's about up, but I'm totally open. I know Brenda is too, or whoever else has any questions on project broadcast. Does anybody have any questions? I know I kind of went through it quickly.
Well, where do we find the campaigns? Like, so if we decide to do this, will you be posting them on the website, or where do those?
Perfect question. Perfect question. I'm trying to figure that out. So what happened was we are connected with a partner. Her name is Mary, and Mary has like 80 national marketing directors that she's the one who put all of our names in, got us all set up. You can do that personally, or you can pay somebody to do that. Either way. And she has access to a lot of these campaigns. I know we were on a national marketing director call. Okay. Someone's got some music. Okay, thank you. We were on a national marketing director call, and I know there's another group and I don't know who it is, but it's called, what was the name of the other group, Brenda? Did Brenda get knocked off? Okay. So I know there's a couple groups out there who are developing these campaigns. Some of them do charge some money. And I know myself personally, I will buy them and hopefully be able to share with you guys as well. Once I learn a little bit more, I'll figure out how to get those campaigns to you. But it's not an issue because Mary, who we're working with, had my bucket full. As you can see, I haven't even looked at everything that's there. So just a fabulous tool. It's $10 a month to have project broadcast. And the campaigns, I'm happy to buy those as long as they'll allow me to share them with you. And I think they will, whoever I buy them from. So the campaign shouldn't cost. And knowing how quickly, it would be like you putting together a text message and pulling in a picture. That's all a campaign is. So it's not like you guys couldn't do it. I just did the coaching chat Zoom one, and it didn't take me. I already was going to put that together to post it on Facebook as well. So it's not difficult to do that. Does that make sense? Okay.
Elaine, how much was it for them to upload everything?
I don't know yet.
Oh,
I'll let you know when I get the bill.
Okay.
It's $20 an hour. So, but I'm telling you what, this girl is fast. So I don't know how long it took her, but the gal was fast. It would have taken me a lot longer, I'm sure. So I'm excited about it. I think it's just another, I don't want to bombard people with it too much, kind of like with, posting on Facebook, but at the same time, people always have their phones. They don't always necessarily go into social media, but most people will check a text message pretty quickly. So I think it's going to be just another great tool. It's been very easy. I think, Brenda, you would agree too. It's not been hard at all to step right in to start using it. And here's the other thing. If you're like, you know what, maybe my customer base isn't that big yet, or my partner base isn't that big yet that I think I want to invest in that quite yet. Someone who got that coaching chat message from me or Brenda, turn around and send it back to us. So there's nothing to say you can't take the campaigns we send out and turn around and copy them and forward them. It would just be on a manual basis, but you could still utilize the connection that we're using. Does that make sense? Okay. So either way, whether, you know, I'm not getting a kickback from Project Broadcast trying to pull people on to make money for them, but I'm here to say is for free, you could turn around and forward it on if you're like, hey, because I see there's a whole campaign in there for all of our research. So I know that's probably what I'm going to jump on and start using pretty quickly, and share that with my customers. Just begin dripping that research to them as a great way to connect with those current customers. And you know what? Maybe what we'll do is start posting them on the team Facebook page so that you can grab them and use them from there. So we'll make sure that we do that. I know that I just got one. Sandy Leonard just sent one out, and it's really nice. And she obviously sent it out to her customers, and it was about tomorrow night's call with Dr. Du Bois. So I think that will be a great one that, you know, we'll grab that, copy and paste it so you guys can see what that one looked like, and you can turn around and use that.
And you can tweak them however you want, because we tweaked all of them. And when it has that funky thing, it says hi, and then it looks like some kind of weird paragraph. That if you just, there's a way that it will send it with their first name on it. You don't, you know, it's because they have your information in there. It's amazing. It really personalizes it.
And how do we sign up?
Just go to Project Broadcast, and there's something about they'll ask for a code. I don't know what, I'll go find out what my code is. I'm not sure how that works. You get some kind of points. I don't know anything about it, but
put a code in. I think you get 500 something, or yeah, we don't understand.
We don't know what it we may be sharing, we're excited about, so we may be sharing before we really know it all, but that doesn't mean, so take that as an encouragement. You can still grab hold this and run with it, whether or not you know anything or not, because I know about this much. Brenda probably knows about this much, but we're using it. So,
and it's the cool thing about, you know, just like with Juice Plus, no matter who you're talking to, you know more than they do, so you're still the expert.
Exactly. So, any other questions? Yay, Precious, you joined us.
Yay.
And is it Sheila? I'm saying Sheila, but I think it's pronounced differently.
Shalia.
Shalia, we're glad you're with us.
Hi, glad to be with you folks. Yes, and you said it perfectly. It's Shalia.
Shalia. Okay, well, welcome. And is it
Thank you.
Janine? Am I saying that? Shoemaker Janine? Am I saying that right? I mean, you have to unmute you. You're muted right now.
In the lower left-hand corner.
Lower left-hand corner. There's a microphone and you have to hit it so that you unmute yourself.
Okay, there it is. There it is.
Welcome. Yes, we can. Welcome.
Thank you.
And who are you with? What team are
I'm
you
with Carrie Yancey. No, it's not Yancey anymore. It's like
Sherry.
Yeah.
Yancey? Yeah.
Carrie's sister. Carrie.
Oh, Janine. Okay, I do know who you are. I think I've talked to you maybe a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yay, welcome, Janine. I'm glad you're with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. Have we talked to everyone? All right. And yay, Mara's on here. Welcome. You and Deborah or Debbie and Aaron. Y'all, thanks. And Jeff, thank you guys all for, and Dale, thanks y'all for being on the call. And Sandy. Sandy always looks like she stepped out of a magazine. So
yeah, not me too.
I need some tips. Any other questions about, here's just what I hope you got from the call today. We have so many tools at our fingertips. It is not an issue of not having information from corporate, whether it's digital information, you know, audible information to share with people. We have more resources than we could ever use. What we have to challenge ourselves is, are we consistently using those tools? And so we talked a lot about, and we're going to talk maybe a little bit more about accountability. I hope you guys saw the questions that I put on the Facebook, our Team Extreme Facebook page. Is those questions to ask yourself every Sunday night or Monday when you get ready to plan your week out. You know, how did I do last week? The only way we're going to get better is if we're looking retroactive of how did last week go? Where could I get better? What tool could I have used? What verbiage could I have said? Who could I talk to? Where could I have gone to pull information? So back to many months ago, we did the feedback cycle where you plan, you execute, you review, you adjust, and then you start again. Plan, execute, review, adjust, and start again. And so the better we get about taking 10, 15 minutes a week, say Sunday night or Monday, to go through that feedback cycle. My plan, I'll show you last week's plan, and I'm going to do this. So here was my plan for last week. I may be 5 people I didn't call out of 20 or connect with. So I want to go back and see who do I need to carry over. But that was my plan. And I'm telling you what, I did way better when I did this. Mm-hmm. Even so, make sure you guys are making that plan, execute it, review it, revise it. How can I do better? Based on this call, one of the things I'm going to do, what Jelaine recommended, I'm going to go check out Nextdoor app. And I'm going to make sure I utilize that right before we do our next event here. So, okay, guys, I'll keep on yakking. Sorry, I know we went over. Thanks, you guys, for taking the time out. There's Riley's sweet face. Thanks, you guys, for taking some time out and just growing and developing yourselves. And thanks for always letting us grow and develop on you and share. And we really sometimes don't always have it all put together. You guys are gracious and accepting.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Regarding Next app, is that something you think you would put the invitation to Dr. Du Bois on? But then you wouldn't know who saw it, and how could you follow up?
Yeah, I think if you did, you would give some way for them to connect with you so you could give them a password. You don't want the password out there for anyone to jump on the call. So I would definitely give them a way to connect with you. If they connect with you, then give them a password to join. You could try it. You could try it. Who knows? Who knows?
Okay.
So, okay, guys.
Everyone, I apologize. I'm on my laptop and I don't know what happened. I've never had that happen before. Just something started blasting that I didn't even know about.
Oh. I didn't know where that came from.
Pretty sure it was mine. Yeah.
You didn't have to tell us now. You just ratted yourself out.
Well, I had to get off and come back on. So I was thinking it's pretty obvious.
All right. Well, guys, I hope you have a phenomenal week. Let's plan, execute, review, and revise, and let's see how well we did next week. I appreciate you guys being so faithful, being on the calls each week, and look forward to seeing your faces same time, same place next week.
Thanks,
Bye.
Can you add invites to this? Elaine,
Thank you. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. What'd you
Thanks,
say,
Elaine.
Yvette?
Can you add invites to the weekly plan? Because I use it and then repost it so I can print it again.
Repost the weekly plan.
But put invites on there for me.
Oh, invites. Got it. Yes, I will. I will do that for you, Yvette.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, and I'll repost it on Team Extreme then.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Great idea, Yvette. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.